All right, team ropers, it's our third machine that we're gonna look at right here. This is the time machine. This is the Walt Travis Woodard Especial. I think Patrick Smith is using this one as well. And it kind of incorporates some things from all of the machines. This is the newest one on the market. I don't know if they have any upgrade models on this one or not. I went and borrowed this one from my buddy Chris Cox. So let's talk about it real quick. As you can see, it is kind of fundamentally, we'll start back up the front like we do. It's kind of like the Hot Heels. It has the ski system and has the system right here for either towing with a four-wheeler, towing with your horse. And once again, you can tow it with your horse all you want, which won't be very much. And so no spring-loaded tongue on this. If you are going to use one of these, get yourself a piece of inner tube, put it here in the middle of the rope, then hook the rope onto the four-wheeler. There's your spring-loaded tongue. So I will say this about moving these things around. The sucker's heavy, and I don't know if it's just because I've moved the machines around, but this machine is a little bit heavier. And like I said, I don't have an official tow weight for any of them, but I can tell you just from the four-wheeler telling me this one's a little bit heavier to pull. As you get back up here to the tire, kind of the same deal as the Hot Heels. You have the tire riding on the ground. The tire's your drive system. Here's your belt. They've got a belt tensioner right here. And this also has two pulleys, a large pulley and a smaller pulley. And that's just going to dictate your hop speed a little bit. All three of these machines have those. So these two machines have two. The Heliomatic has three. There are infinite number of hop speeds within all of those depending on how fast you're going on the four-wheeler. So does one have more speed of hops than the other? The Heliomatic has one more pulley, so your hop lengths may be different, but for all of these, you can make them hop as fast as slow as you want to depending on how fast you're going. So we'll get to all that stuff when we get on a horse where we can actually see it, because I couldn't really tell you the difference in stride in any of these. Big wheel. You're going to have that weight that's on that wheel when it comes out here and the arena's not groomed. It's going to bounce a little bit. And so that's kind of the Hot Heels in this deal. Have the time machines deal with that big wheel. It's going to just bounce a little bit when it hits those ruts. And if you start coming out here making run after run after run and having corners, you're going to find that you're going to put ruts in your arena. But you know what? That's go drag the pin and take your ruts out and everything's good. We get back here to the head on this thing. This is where we start seeing a little bit of difference, and I think the difference is probably just a little bit of time in the marketplace. This right here is no bueno for a head rope. It does not allow your rope to feel very good at all, because when my head rope comes in, it's going to want to go right down here to this bar, and there's no realistic feel to this right here unless I rope it right around the horns, which that's great if you're an awesome and you can place your head loop in the same exact place every single time. But we're out here trying to get our confidence up, and a lower numbered header may not be able to do that. So, you know, I would say that right there, I know I'll save that to the end of the video, but I don't like that at all, because as a header, there's too much room right there. That rope can come down in here. Another thing about is there's a lot of stuff that's exposed, and you take it for granted when you may rope a little bit better. Go ahead and have a bunch of beginners over to your place and rope, and they're going to hang up the rope on anything possible that can be hung up on. So you're going to catch your rope here, you're going to get your rope down in here, and so those are just some things that, and they may have changed that by now. I honestly couldn't tell you if that's the truth or not, but I know that that's something that, you know, there's a lot of chances for a low-numbered or a beginner roper, or anybody for that matter, to get your rope hung up all over in this thing, okay? Kind of that comes into a safety issue, having a bunch of things exposed in that too. So up here on the horns, let's talk about the horns. Quick release horns right here. They don't fold back, they just come together. But this dummy does something that none of the others do that's pretty cool. And that's when that head rope gets on there and we get our horse in the right position, bam, old timed event's gonna look at you. Time machine, that's what I meant. Time machine's gonna look at you. So your rope's gonna go on, you're gonna get a hold of him, his head's gonna come to you just like you're getting a steer's head. So bam, right there, my rope's gonna pop off. So that's a pretty dang cool deal right there. And I know a lot of the machines are trying to do that right now. Is get that head to bend a little bit so you can see it coming before your rope pops off. It's going to take a little bit more for your rope to pop off this. You're going to get that head to bend a little bit, then your rope's going to pop off. That's a really, really cool deal on this machine. I like that a lot. And like I said, a lot of machines out there are trying to come out with that same deal. So that's very, very cool that they did that. Body-wise, plastic-wise, same deal. It's all rotational molded plastic, heavy-duty stuff. You know, they're not going to wear out. The red color may fade in the sun, but that's no big deal. I mean, just like the brown and the black are going to fade in the sun. Everything with any color is going to fade in the sun. They're hard plastic, so they're going to last durability-wise. You got steel and plastic on all of them. I really don't think you're going to break any of them unless you drop them out of a jet plane. So, getting back here to the heeling side of this deal, this machine has kind of a hop, stride, whatever, just like the other two machines. It's got set up, the Helimatic has what they call a dally kit in the back end, which is an H brace between the legs. This thing has about the same exact thing. There's I don't know if you can see it in here, but we'll see it when we're on the horse. But there's a metal bracket in here that holds these plastic legs in there so that when you dally, your rope's going to go right up to the hock on this machine like it does on the Helimatic. It's going to go right there, and that's where you're going to dally and be able to hit it pretty hard. On all of these machines, when you rope a leg, it's not the best thing in the world to just rear back on a leg on any of them. I know that the Hot Heel says that it's okay, but you know, if you're roping a leg, probably don't need to be jerking back on any of them, just because on one side you keep doing it, you're going to kind of tweak one of these machines if you hit them hard enough. So, and that's on all three of them. I wouldn't recommend roping legs anyway. It's kind of a bad deal to get used to. So on the feet, one thing that this does have that neither of the other two machines do is it's got these whisker brushes down here, and they do drag the ground. And that's a pretty good deal, because when they're on the ground, like you can see the front legs on this, when they're on the ground, you can't get a rope in there. So it's pretty cool on these back feet to have these whiskers that when this thing is on the ground, you're not going to sneak it in there. Now the other thing that this does, and we'll see when we get on a horse, is these front feet, this is like the gen stick on the Hot Heels, those front feet are going to come back and they're going to close that gap. You can see it kind of wanting to do it right there, but it'll close that gap like a steer does with those front legs. So the Hot Heels and the Time Machine do have that front leg element to it, where the Helimatic does not. And that's all kind of a timing issue, and we'll kind of see how all of that feels. So like the way that these are on the ground, the whiskers, pretty good deal. You know, I got to be 100% honest. There's just little things. This machine hasn't been on the market as long as the other ones, and the other two companies have been on the marketplace a lot. There's just little things, little cosmetic things that the other companies have had to deal with, and you know, there's just ways to maybe clean a machine up a little bit, put some guards on it, fill in your neck a little bit. And like I said, maybe this machine isn't one of their newer models. I don't know that, but basically you're getting all of the same things here. This thing is going to stride and hop. The hips are going to come up. The feet are going to have the action that we'll see on the horse. So kind of when it comes to all three of them, they're all going to have that action. The front legs on this, once again, things that I like about this machine, I really like the whiskers on the legs touching the ground. I think that's a great deal. The thing I do not like is this right here. Don't like the head on this thing, just because my rope's going to go down there and hit that and maybe get hung up in there. Like this a lot. It's a pretty cool idea. So that's the Time Machine. And once again, I want to say this about all of them. If you have a chance to go rope a machine, go rope it. If you're not roping a machine, I don't care if it's any one of these three or anyone else out there. It's about your roping and getting throws and riding your horse and getting good horsemanship. You need to be in front of and beside a machine as much as you can so that you can get those throws. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get on a horse and we're going to do the same exact drills with the Helimatic, the Hot Heels, the Time Machine, put all three of them together, and then we'll just show you everything. All right, guys, we're going to go get on a horse and get with it.